Donald J. Trump just slapped the whole of the EU with a 20% tariff. What does that mean? We are going to be talking about that today, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Yesterday, of course, Wednesday was Liberation Day, and he caused an absolute storm across Europe. The liberal, left, woke, Marxist people are just trembling in their boots because of the nonsense that they've been talking for the last 10 years. Now has finally come back to bite them, okay? And this is obviously an attack on the left, the woke left, and a lot of people think, wow, what do you mean? Because Trump wants to make America first, and a lot of these companies rely on the US for this funding, you know, the woke funding, the NGOs, all this crazy stuff that, you know, patriotic Irish people and European people, Spanish, French, Slovakian, Czech Republic, you know, German, they don't like that stuff, guys. They do not like this sort of agendas that is being pushed by the EU. So we're going to get into this one today. Let me know your thoughts down below, and let's hear about it, guys.
The tariffs will be not a full reciprocal. I could have done that, yes, but it would have been tough for a lot of countries who didn't want to do that. I'd like to see the chart if you have it. Could you bring it up, Howard? This is our great Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick. Thanks, Howard. So, if you look at that, China, first row, China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So 67%, I think you can, for the most part, see it. Those with good eyes, with bad eyes. We didn't want to bring, it's very windy out here, we didn't want to bring out the big charts because it had no chance of standing. Fortunately, we came armed with a little smaller chart. So 67%, so we're going to be charging a discounted reciprocal tariff of 34%. I think, in other words, they charge us, we charge them less. So how can anybody be upset?
Yeah, he's charging them less. Like, the world has been screwing with America and America's economy for the last God knows how long. You know, when we talk about Make America Great Again, you know, that's like a dog whistle to some people, or at least some people think that. But definitely economics-wise, we can talk about the other social stuff, but definitely economics-wise, they need a massive overhaul in the US, and Trump is bringing it in. Look at Vietnam. Look at Cambodia, man. 97%. That's insane. What the hell? And then it's obviously accounted, the adjustment is, goddamn it, 50%. That's insane, guys.
They will be, because we never charge anybody anything, but now we're going to charge.
Yeah.
European Union, they're very tough, very, very tough traders. You know, you think of European Union, very friendly. They rip us off. It's so sad to see.
Yeah, it is sad. He doesn't want to do this. A lot of people are like, oh no, Trump is the bad guy. He doesn't want to do this. He has to do this because the EU are bastards and they're screwing everyone. And they're being disingenuous and they're being lying. And they're just, you know, economically dishonest. They're just bastards, guys. Like, you know, they're BSing with the US for the last how many years? They're not taking cars. They're not doing this. They're suing flipping Apple. Nonsense stuff.
It's so pathetic. 39%, we're going to charge them 20%, so we're charging them essentially half. Vietnam, great negotiators, great people. They like me, I like them. The problem is they charge us 90%. We're going to charge them 46% tariff. Taiwan, where they took all of our computer chips and semiconductors. We used to be the king, right? We were everything. We had all of it.
Wow.
Now we have almost none of it, except the biggest company is coming in. We're going to end up with almost 40%. Lee Zeldin's working to get their approvals. And it's an amazing company. Mr. Wei, of one of the great companies of the world, actually.
I love this, guys. I'm a businessman. You know, let's get down to brass taxes here. If you're going to have the rest of the world screwing with one of the most powerful countries in the world, let them get screwed back. I absolutely love the 20%. I can't believe Trump only charged them 20%. They should have charged them flipping 40%, 60%. I would have loved to see it. No more NGOs, you know, conducting slave trades across Europe and Africa and the Middle East and Asia. Okay, none of this bringing people in. No more flipping screwing the Irish public. You know, no more woke DEI funded projects. We need this. Lord Trump, come on, daddy. Bring it home.
They're coming in from Taiwan, and they're going to build one of the biggest plants in the world, maybe the biggest for that.
Let's go.
But 64%, we're going to charge them 32%. Japan, Very, very tough. Great people. And again, I don't blame the people for doing it. I think they're very smart in doing it. I blame the people that sat right in that Oval Office, right over there, right behind the Resolute desk or whichever desk they chose. Japan, 46%. They would charge us 46%, and much higher for certain items like cars, little items like cars.
Wow.
46%, we're charging them 24%. India, very, very tough, very, very tough. The Prime Minister just left. He's a great friend of mine, but I said, you're a friend of mine, but you're not treating us right. They charge us 52%. You have to understand, we charge them almost nothing for years and years and decades.
It's crazy.
It was only 7 years ago when I came in, we started with China charging. We took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China in tariffs. And
huge.
They understood,
huge.
Honestly. President Xi understood. He said, look, I understand. And the other countries, and they all understand, we're going to have to go through a little tough love, maybe.
Yeah,
but
it is tough love. He's very, very great with his words. He's amazing with his words, guys. His language, a little tough love. This isn't like we're trying to, sneak attack people. We're trying to, get at people. But this is like really needed, guys. This is like showing the world, hey, guys, you need to back up with all the flipping tariffs and the taxes that you charge us. You're not playing You're not playing ball with us. You're not playing the same game. You're screwing us. I love it. I'd love to see it. Tax them harder. Shit. Tax them harder because the U.S., they protect the world, first of all, from like dangerous threats, terrorists and things like that. They fund these programs. They fund the world. They feed the world, Africa, Asia, these poor countries. And then what the countries do, they flip and tax the hell out of them. I mean, it's bullshit, guys. Ridiculous. Look at United Kingdom, 10%. If I was Ireland, I would have said, yeah, don't include us with the EU, guys. If I was in charge, I would have said, Mr. Trump, let's make a deal. We buy a bunch of Dodge Rams, a bunch of Dodge Vipers, a bunch of Dodge Challengers. Okay, we buy a bunch of guns for our military. Forget about the little Irish Austrian Sturd, that little gun with the magazine back here. Forget about that gun from Austria. I would say let's buy some M16, some M4s. Okay, from America. Let's do a massive trade deal to fund our military. Okay, also the cars. I love the American cars. I was driving them in Canada and shit. Flipping amazing. Oh, it's amazing. You feel like a man. You know what I mean? You feel like a man driving the big pickup trucks, the F-150s. Like, the Irish government are so shit at dealing with economics. Because I would be amazing. I'm gonna run for economics someday. All the social stuff I can talk about too. But the economy, oh man, I would have this place boom in the economy. And Conor McGregor would do an amazing job as well. Billionaire. We have Simon Harris, who has no degrees, no qualifications. He's not even rich himself. What the hell has that guy got any idea talking about business? It's ridiculous.
All understand. They're ripping us off, and they understood it. Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe. He was a fantastic man. He was unfortunately taken from us, assassination.
Oh, yeah.
But I went to him and I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. A trade is not fair. And he said, I know that. And he was a great gentleman. He was a fantastic man, but he understood immediately what I was talking about. I said, Shinzo, we have to do something. He said, I know that. And we worked out a deal, and it would have been a much better deal, but frankly, there were many years left on the deal that was made previous to my getting there, but it was...
Okay, guys, enough with this one. So Cambodia is unbelievable. Cambodia, 97%, they tax America, and then he said 49%. South Africa there, taxing America. South Africa, 60% they tax America. No, ridiculous. Ridiculous, guys. These are outrageous numbers. Today, we're back again with propaganda news, guys. I apologize. I know everyone's saying, Chris, don't react to these propaganda news talk. RTE, Joe.ie, Virgin Media, they're all awash with propaganda and scumbags. Well, I gotta do it, guys. We have to do it, okay? I have to react to them. This is how Trump's tariffs will impact local businesses in Ireland. Now, obviously, they don't talk about the corporations, okay? Because they want to talk about how it's impacting the people, when in reality, it's the higher-ups that are making billions that should get taxed.
As the world continues to grapple with the fallout of Trump's so-called Liberation Day, the Taoiseach said there's no justification for 20% tariffs on imports from across the EU. Despite the seemingly cordial White House meeting earlier this month, Micheál Martin hit back at the US president, saying disrupting this deeply integrated relationship benefits no one. And amid the chaos and
well, it benefits the US. What the hell is he talking about? Micheál Martin is so bad with his words. It's unbelievable. He's one of the worst spoken men I've ever heard in my life. Like, unbelievably bad spoken.
Certainty of Trump's tariffs, will Irish business be forced to export elsewhere, or will the government need to provide economic supports for the industries that are affected? Well, now, we'll be talking to Derek Leary, Minister for Social Protection and Rural and Community Development, in a moment. But first, with me in studio is Tom Keogh, CEO of Keogh's Crisps.
Oh,
good morning.
sick.
Are you affected by this, Tom?
I love Keogh's. Keogh's is my favorite crisps, lads. If you guys live in Ireland, I know a lot of people watching these videos don't actually live in Ireland, but Keogh's are my favorite. Forget about potatoes. You guys can keep potatoes. Potatoes are, might be blasphemous. I don't really like potatoes. Keogh's are the best crisp. I think they also sold them in Canada when I was there on holidays. They also sell them abroad. Like, Keogh's are the best, lads. Shout out to Keogh's. Keogh's, if you want to sponsor me, hit me up. Come on.
We are. Yeah, the American market is a very important market for us.
Like, what's 1, 2, 3 in terms of market prominence for you?
Well, America is our biggest export market.
Ooh,
we're exporting to about 22 countries.
Shit.
But America is number one. Accounts for about, say, 15% of total volume. But it's growing really fast for us. Has been ever since we kind of came out of COVID. Up to this, we've been paying about a 7% tariff on our goods going into the American market. So obviously we woke up this morning to the news of 20%. So yeah, it will have an impact, but it's not something that we can't deal with.
Okay, it's not something that you can't deal with.
Yeah.
So do you have to cut your cloth? Do you have to narrow your margin? Or is there something else innovative you can do?
Yeah, well, I think the negotiations start now. Like, I woke up this morning to emails from American customers wondering what we were going to do to help. You know, this wasn't an ultimatum being given to us. It's what can we do to help the situation? And I suppose if you look at it on at the big context, like, in America, food has become very expensive, especially over the last 3 years. There's been huge inflation there in food. And I think if anybody sat in a restaurant in America over the last recent times, they'll see that you nearly get a shock when you get the bill.
I was in the US though, and like, food was so much cheaper than Ireland. Like, even he's saying it got more expensive. I was there last year. It's still so much cheaper than anywhere in Europe. Like, the US just have it so good. And I actually went to Costco and I got these huge bags of Keogh's crisps. And actually, lads, Keogh's, if you're watching, you're not going to be watching, get those big bags to bring to Ireland. I don't know why we don't have, like, do they have them in Musgraves or something? Because I haven't seen them. I want to get those big, huge bags. The little shitty 125 gram bags suck. We need to get bigger bags.
It is a shocker. Food and drink. Shocker.
Shock, yeah. And so I think just in that alone leaves capacity for us to compete. Also, when you look at the dollar, so you know, prices that we set with customers over there 3 years ago, in reality, they're buying the product for 13 to 15% cheaper today than they were 3 years ago. That alone can afford to cover the cost of tariffs today.
Oh, wow.
You know, so I think we're in a very strong position when we start these negotiations.
No panic from your point of view.
Damn, that's amazing.
No panic.
Did you hear what he said there, lads? That's amazing, man. So, yeah, even the 13, 15% price lower, it still doesn't matter that the tariffs are on top of them. They're still making a profit. That's some good business they have going, lads. Keogh's, it's unbelievable. Keogh's is like a crazy business model. 1 potato or 2 potatoes makes up a full bag of crisps. 1 potato is like 5-10 cents. It's super cheap. If you guys go to the Tesco, buy a bag of flipping spuds there, like, it's super cheap for potatoes. But a bag of crisps is like $2.50. You know, so they're making a killing, guys. Crisps is like the most uneconomical thing to buy, but they're just so tasty.
No panic. I think we're well able to trade through this, and like, we've dealt with much worse than this. Like, 3 years ago, we were dealing with 400% increase in logistics costs into America, which are huge compared to these tariffs, and nobody was talking about that.
Now, have you product on the high seas that's going to arrive in America and face these tariffs? In other words,
we do.
Stuff that's already promised and in fact sold.
Yeah, we looked at that. We actually looked at that yesterday. We have 3 containers. I think they're arriving in New Jersey today or tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
That's epic.
But we're also sitting in a nice place because St. Patrick's Day is kind of one of our busiest seasons in the American market, and we would have been shipping a lot of stock over there from December through January and February in order to make that deadline for St. Patrick's Day. So we are stock heavy.
Now,
we're going to leave it right there, guys. Absolutely amazing. I love to see Irish businesses flourish, even though Donald Trump hit them with that tariff. And I'm sure this guy is a Donald Trump supporter. I'm sure he absolutely loves Trump. I'm not going to speak for him. But any man that is a businessman is going to be more conservative, more right-leaning, and just got a better brain in his head. I think if you deal with men that work out, if you guys deal with men that, you know, and I don't talk to anyone that doesn't really work out, I'll be honest, guys, you know, I try to keep my friend group people that work out, you know, people that run businesses, stuff like that. You know, these people are normally just sharper, just more clued into what the hell is going on in the world. So yeah, absolutely amazing. No love for Pat Kenny. Pat Kenny is a piece of shite. All right, I love you guys all. Let me know your thoughts. If you want to support me, guys, hit that join link underneath the video. There is no tariffs for me. I get all the money, although YouTube, I think, gets like 30%, unfortunately, of my memberships. But I love you guys all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be back again tomorrow, man. Stay tuned. Peace.